Hi guys, Chose on Reactions, and this video I'm going to react to episode 21 of season 1 of Babylon 5. If you're interested in full reactions and early access, you can check that out on my Patreon. Very curious to see whether this is going to be a two-parter or not. I would almost assume so, but I guess I'll find out. Let's get into it.
Tell you what, it is an imposition on my busy schedule, but I will take you under my wing and fill the gaps in your education. Starting tomorrow morning and for the next 2 days, I will show you the Babylon 5 that I know.
That you know?
You will find it a revelation of the highest order.
Does it involve lots of gambling?
No, Ambassador.
Oh, trust me.
It's like, what the fuck is that arm doing there?
In light of that evidence, this court finds you guilty of murder in the first degree.
That
Sentence will be
gives you
handed
a
down
smile?
at 10 a.m. tomorrow, Earth Standard Time. And may God have mercy upon your soul.
What is that smile? Smile because you're proud of your actions, or smile because you know that sentence won't happen?
The name of the place is Babylon 5.
You can start by removing your clothes.
Yeah, not gonna happen.
Flowers.
Oh, Lieutenant Commander. What are you doing down here?
What a coincidence. I was about to ask you the same thing.
Just doing my job.
Your job as chief of staff for the MedLab facility.
No, my job is healing people. Med labs aren't free. Not everyone can afford to come for treatment, especially in down below.
Well, they have my sympathies. But this is an unauthorized clinic.
Sympathies won't heal them.
This is a free clinic.
Same thing. Look, I don't mind if you bend the rules a little, Doctor. I mean, I bend a few myself. But I do like to be informed. If I'm going to share in the blame, I'd at least like to share in some of the fun.
All right. You can start by taking off your jacket. There's a sink in the back. You can wash your hands and...
I am not a doctor.
No, but I'm sure we can find something for you to do. If
Yeah.
you're gonna join in the fun, you might as well go all the way, right?
This wasn't the first time for this guy, Commander. The way he killed him, cool, methodical. He's done this before. I bet good money he's done this a lot.
But you have no evidence to that effect.
His
Then there's
creepy
nothing
smile.
you can do. Spacing is only invoked under conditions of mutiny or treason.
Maybe while you're inside his head, you can poke around, see if this guy's killed before.
Mr. Garibaldi, you know better than that. Scanning along those lines violates the right of due process. Anything the telepath sees whilst inside a defendant's mind is inadmissible evidence.
But he's already been found guilty.
Of this crime, yes, but he hasn't been charged with anything else, and I will not condone a fishing expedition. Can I count on you?
More nightmares to add. I'm actually very surprised that they... I mean, I haven't really thought about it before, but it makes sense in a Disturbing. I'm not saying that I would want it, but it would make sense that they would indeed, you know, scan their mind and look for other crimes so they can add even more to their penalty. So I'm surprised that it's very much a no-no. Only question is that gonna remain to be the case, or are they gonna change the rules at some point?
Well, I've been hearing about some kind of quack practicing medicine without a license. A cross between a faith healer and a sideshow medicine man. Or a woman in this case.
Is
I'm
it
sure
you?
it's all a misunderstanding. Good luck.
It's you, right?
A little more.
Oh, I really thought it was her. She was like, yeah, I'm gonna head out right now.
Well, this should begin to decrease the growth.
How will I know if it worked?
Well, you'll know. My treatments never fail. Well,
Never?
That should do it.
This writing, what does it say?
The specifics? I don't know. I've only
don't
been
know,
able
but
to
you just
decipher the most
use it?
general of meanings.
In other words, you don't know what it is, or what it
Yeah.
does, or even if it works at all.
Oh, it works all right. It restores, renews,
At which
invigorates.
cost?
Ms. Rosen, does the term con job ring a bell?
My mother is not a fake,
Oh, you're the daughter.
or an evil woman, or a quack.
You didn't tell me that she was your mother.
A life taken will not balance the loss of another life. Therefore, it is the decision of this court that you be sentenced to the death of personality.
Death of personality.
Conveyed under the personality of Carl Edward Mueller will be totally and completely erased. You will then be programmed with a new set of memories. For the rest of your natural life, you will serve the community harmed by your actions.
I mean, isn't that pretty much a death sentence? What is even the difference?
My allowance is very small. Oh, no, don't apologize. We'll make do.
Oh, it's just that I don't think the landlord would.
Oh,
Thank you. Here, give yourself a nice tip. He's a very generous man.
are you gonna
Here's to our new friendship, Lanier.
I was about to ask, are you gonna blink or not?
Lanier.
My people do not react well at all to alcohol.
Not
Even
react
a
well as
small
in
quantity causes psychotic impulses and violent homicidal
violent? Whoa, yeah, no.
My mistake. Mirtana.
Why aren't you back on Earth so she can show everyone her new discovery?
We don't have the money.
Yes, you do. I checked the station log. You don't want anyone to know.
Doctor, my mother is not a young or a well woman. At most, she has a few years left.
But what about all the
I
people
never
she's
want to see
calling
her as she
them?
was before, defeated and lost and hopeless. She's a healer again, and that's all that matters.
But she isn't if it
Please
doesn't
don't try and
work.
take that away from her, because if you do, I'll fight you.
But how many people are gonna die if it doesn't work? What if Franklin could have saved them?
After my 11th year, I focused my area of inquiry towards mathematics, and I began to specialize in probability.
Probability? My dear good friend Lanier. Come with me.
Gambling.
They're about to begin another
Gambling.
game.
Mr. Mueller, I'm here to perform the court-ordered scan prior to brain wipe.
So, you're going to walk around in my head, eh? I'd
Fortunately.
think twice if I were you. Something might just jump out of the shadows and bite you.
Any attempted intimidation will go on your record.
So,
I mean, he's gonna
it's
die
not like I'm
anyways.
going to remember any of this. That's the plan, right?
Another voice plus the 2 lurkers you killed.
No. More. And more. And more.
Oh no. Oh God, no. How many?
Did it
How
have to
many?
be a serial
How
killer?
many worlds are there? I have to keep adding voices until the choir is big enough to sing me into heaven when I die.
What? You're not going to heaven? Why would it take you to hell? Ugh.
No. Stay. Stay for the symphony.
My daughter thinks that she's doing the right thing, but if we show her that people's conditions are actually getting
works?
worse because of a lack of proper treatment, this can't be right.
It works.
Lanier.
Yes, Londo?
Stop that.
Does that mean I've won again?
It means you have won a tenth of what you could have won if you had...
If you had...
Never mind, pick up your chips.
This device of yours is more than what it seems. It does heal, doesn't it?
That's what I said, isn't it? Would you please go away? I am so tired.
Would imagine so. I monitored your life signs during the session. They dropped nearly 15% while you were hooked
It
up
takes
to this.
away from her?
It transfers
To heal
energy
others?
from one being to another, doesn't it?
Oh.
It was designed as a means of corporal punishment.
What?
Criminals who were sentenced to death on different worlds had their life energy removed. And that energy was used to heal others dying of terminal illness. She wouldn't understand. She'd stop me. She loves me very much, it seems. God knows why.
Why don't you let me take a look at it? I know some people that might be able to help. And then...
Oh, no. No. Doctor, this has been my whole life for the last 2 years. No, if there's a discovery here to be made, I will make it on my own terms. Janice is to know nothing of this. Agreed?
All right. If you come to MedLab once a week for exams, I want to be able to monitor your condition. And I reserve the right to intervene if you start to push yourself too far too fast.
Done.
Once a week, starting on Monday.
Yes.
She's a good woman, Janice. You should be proud.
I always have been. It's nice to hear somebody else say it, though. Goodbye.
Listen, if you ever want to take a break, I'd love to buy you dinner sometime.
I don't know what my mother told you, but it must have really been something.
Yeah.
It was.
The things that live inside us, Mr. Garibaldi. Terrible things. Terrible. You said earlier that you would bet good money that he had killed before. You would not have lost.
Yeah, something funny would be nice right now. What the ever fuck?
I'll raise another 3.
How do you not see that, guys?
Going down, Chief?
Nah, heading up, Luke.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh. Oh.
To maintenance. Head back to security, work your way down to the next level. This is a priority override. Kill transport tube number 7. Kill it now.
Really like to take his life force away now.
You raised 3, and I'll raise 3.
Aye!
What the hell?
Uh-oh.
You cheating? No, I'm sure there's been a terrible mistake. Cheating! No.
Uh-oh. Hey! Oh! 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 Whoa! Whoa! What the fuck? That kick!
I think we should leave now.
That kick!
I'll just take my winnings.
I think not.
Word's getting out about that quack and her healing machine.
Look, she's not a...
She's probably going towards her. Yes.
Mr. Garibaldi, I'm going down to Brown 27G. If he doesn't hear from me in 20 minutes, tell him to send in a team.
You're just in time. We're almost finished here.
You all right, Laura?
I'm fine. Just exhausted.
Her treatment is quite astonishing, Doctor. Only 20 minutes, and I've already regained some use of my own.
Oh my god. She can't die for this
Once
piece
the
of
procedure's
shit.
Finished, it never hurts to have a second opinion or a second hostage. Oh, yes. Yes, it's better. It's better.
Oh!
Stay. What are you doing? Stop it!
You'll do nothing. That pain you're feeling, that agony, that's Lake's syndrome. That pain almost too much to imagine.
One way to find out the truth. Jesus.
You'll never hurt anyone again.
Fuck.
He's dead.
It is the judgment of this court that Laura Rosen acted in self-defense.
Okay, yeah.
To protect her own life as well as the lives of others. Therefore, no charges will be pressed. And
Got
she is
word
free
for a
to leave
second.
on her own recognizance.
But are you healed now?
Are you all right?
I've taken a life in direct violation of my oath as a doctor. I'm free of pain. I'm free from Lake syndrome. I may never be all right again.
You heard Mr. Garibaldi. You did the right thing.
I did the necessary thing. That is not always the same as the right thing. Now, if you'll excuse me, I think I'd like to be alone for a while.
Oh, Mr. Garibaldi, there you are. I bring you glad tidings.
Oh, good, I could use some.
Diplomatic privilege means you cannot be charged for the events that transpired, but I must insist on payment of damages to the club.
Yes, I agree. Thank you, Commander.
But
Why?
In Minbari culture, we are taught that it is an honor to help another save face.
But the Len.
We'll know better, but will not inquire out of respect.
oh.
Here, Lee, goddess of passion, a synthesis of male and female Centauri. Did you think these were just decorations?
I'm going to take a vow of silence concerning this entire conversation.
I'm just gonna forget it. I'm just gonna give myself a little brain wipe, you know? Just... Wait, what just happened? Oh, I missed the scene. Well, shit can happen like that.
Might be able to preserve someone's life when nothing else works. Volunteers who can donate a little life energy the way people used to donate blood before synthetics were perfected.
You hear that? He's a dreamer.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing. Nothing at all. Through no desire of my own, I have been granted a second lease on life. Somewhere out there is what I need to redeem myself.
You don't need to.
Yes, I do. I would ask you to look after my daughter, but my instincts tell me that won't be a problem.
Alright, this was episode 21 of season 1 of Babylon 5, and I very much enjoyed it. I thought it was a good episode. I was a little bit surprised when it turned out to be not a two-parter. I know that's not like a mandatory thing, you know, it's not like a must when the season ends, but I just pretty much assumed it was going to be one. But that didn't take away any enjoyment. It was just a little surprise, which, you know, it also makes me even more, I guess, curious as to how we're going to end this season. But anyways, yeah, I did like all the storylines in this one. Two of them were very disturbing on multiple levels. Let's just start with the most lighthearted one, and that is the Londo and Lennier scenes. It pretty much went how I expected for the most part. As soon as Londo invited Lennier to, make him, let him show him the real Babylon 5, give him the real experience, educate him. Went about as expected, but then more towards the end, we definitely got some surprises. Got some interesting body part, or not even, of Londo, and then also we saw the moves of Lennier. Like, damn, that was some kicks. He just pretty much kicked everyone's ass, and we also learned, I know that Londo was like showing up the real Babylon 5, but we also learned more about, Lennier, and also, yet again, more of the Minbari the race, and he saved, Londo's face, and he explained why, and then he also explained how he wasn't really that concerned about getting in trouble, that the Lin is gonna take it out of him, because he knew that she's not gonna bring it up. So yeah, I did really like those scenes, and for me, it worked. It didn't take away from the other scenes, and there was definitely one moment where I was very relieved to just see Londo and Lennier again, instead of just having to continue to cry. Yeah, then we go to the more disturbing stuff. So yeah, we saw Winters going inside a serial killer's mind, and we have seen before and also heard her before talking about her experience, that she has been, inside a killer's mind, and she's still being haunted by that. I'm still wondering, because if I remember correctly, Kosh also wanted to have that memory of her going inside that killer's mind. I was actually expecting for Kosh to maybe show up, but that didn't happen, so guess I just have to wait and see what's up with that. I know that it's something that he thinks he can use against her if necessary, but still. But yeah, we saw her go inside the killer's mind, and this was even more disturbing than the last one we saw. And this killer was very keen on having his own little choir so that they could sing for him when he goes to heaven. That's an option for him. It was very disturbing. They got the right actor for it. The actor had this very disturbing look on his face, and his eyes looked pretty much dead most of the time. And when his eyes didn't look dead, you could clearly see he was just so sadistic, totally, I don't know, really proud of his so-called achievements and body count. But I felt so bad for Winters, and I definitely felt uncomfortable as hell. It was a whole lot of messed upness, but she said, there are not a lot of people who are specialized in that, and I can definitely understand why. And she said that a lot of people, a lot of who do have that specialization, they burned out, sooner. So holding my, heart for her, and hoping that, sorry, got distracted, heard the bell. Why is someone belling at the door right now? Damn it, I have to check it out, sorry. Yeah, my mom already opened the door, and now I lost my train of thought. What was I even saying? I think I was saying about, talking about Winters. Yeah, I lost my train of thought, crying out loud. But yeah, let's discuss the serial killer. Like I said, very disturbing. But I was also disturbed by this punishment that he was supposed to get, and that is this death of personality we're talking about. I already addressed it. For me, it kind of feels like, the death penalty. I know that technically he isn't getting killed, and that, they would wipe his mind, he would have none of his original memories, then it would give him new memories, and then he would have to, serve for the community for the rest of his life. So yeah, he would be alive, but I don't know, I feel like if you're gonna wipe someone's personality, just take everything away that makes that person, that person, that person doesn't exist anymore. I don't know. It reminds me of another show, but maybe you know which show I'm talking about. Starts with a D. Anyways, yeah. Interesting to learn about it. But sort of relieved that we didn't really get to see it. But yeah, I kind of felt like Garibaldi when he was constantly saying that he deserves it and this and that, and I could, like, I wanted to get rid of this guy as well, but I don't know, somehow this whole death of personality thing freaked me out more than like the usual death sentence, and I'm definitely not like chill about that as well. But yeah, then we're going to, I guess, like the last storyline, which is the one that actually made me upset the most, and that's regarding Laura. Which, you know, I have to say before I forget, I really liked the actress in that role. I think she did a phenomenal job. And at first, you know, I was pretty much like Franklin, not entirely. I still felt like, you know, before we go to like color her like a con, or color her a fraud, maybe we should first, you know, make sure that it doesn't work. But I was definitely a little bit like, okay, what is this? What is going on? Should we be a little bit more careful about this device? You're telling us that you don't know about it, but you're still using it on patients. What if we're gonna have some weird side effects? What if they're gonna, I don't know, grow an extra limb? Yeah, sorry, I had to think about Londo. But it turns out she was actually a very admirable person, and I'm still very much relieved that, you know, she didn't end up dying. But at the same time, I still feel bad for her because she ended up having to take a life away, which is totally against what she, you know, what she, I guess, promised. You know, her whole thing is to save lives, not to take away lives, even of pieces of shit like him. But one of the things that stood out to me the most, and I don't think it was like, I don't know, maybe it's not that special, but to me it really had a huge effect, was this whole, like, you know, it was a necessary thing to do. And the necessary thing to do isn't necessarily the right thing to do. And I don't know why, but that really hit me. That really hit me. And I definitely felt awful. Like, I wanted him gone. You know, I wanted him dead. But, yeah, like she said, huge effect on her for the rest of her life. It's something she's gonna have to live with. It's not, you know, she can't just forget about it. And it doesn't matter how many times people are gonna tell her, like, oh, it was the right thing to do. It was the right thing to do. That doesn't change anything. And that combined with the fact, you know, how her daughter, Janice, I believe, explained to Franklin, well, pretty much gave her whole background, and the fact that she, you know, she was taking stems, she got addicted because she was constantly working, trying to constantly help people. Then she lost her license, pretty much lost everything. She couldn't even really help people anymore. Then she has this device, and turns out this device actually takes away from her life force, which adds even more to the whole, you know, because she also had the, what's the name? I wrote it down, but I can't immediately find it. Lake syndrome, which gave her enormous pain the whole time. So even when she found out about this whole life force thing, that didn't stop her. No, she just continued, knowing that it would take away from her life, and that, you know, and by doing that, you know, she's like dying a little bit each time. And okay, she was like, you know, I have this syndrome, and I only have like 2 or 3 years, and this is what I want to do. But still, what an enormous sacrifice. And I love how we could, I don't know, like kind of with Franklin, our whole outlook on this character changed. I'm just surprised. You know, this character wasn't here before, just showed up in this episode, and this happened before in the show. But I guess I still sometimes am surprised at how quickly they can make me care about a character, or I don't know. Oh well. So I did very much like the storyline, and I think it was a fitting end that when she was being held hostage, and her daughter as well, and it took a lot for her to actually go as far as, you know, do the necessary thing, and use the machine in a way that instead of her life force being taken away, his life force was taken away. But not just that, you know, he was feeling all the pain that she has been through this whole time with this Lake syndrome. Yeah, he got to experience it for himself, and it was very fucked up, but it also made me realize even more the amount of pain she has been through. You know, we can literally see it on this guy. Yeah, that was like one of the only times where he didn't have that disgusting smirk on his face, and it was disturbing, but I do think the scene was well done, and of course the follow-up as well. But yeah, she's off again, and like she said, she wants to, redeem herself, and her daughter's still here. I'm curious if she is, in fact, if we are going to see her daughter in future episodes. Very curious about that. I'm not sure. But I wouldn't mind seeing Laura again at some point, or at least knowing that she has indeed found a way to be able to live for herself and be able to help people. Oh man. So yeah, I thought it was a very good episode. Almost losing my voice, jeez. I thought it was a very good episode. I don't know what else to say. I'm a little bit rattled by that, sudden break what just happened. So yeah, maybe I should stop it here. I think so. Alright. Thanks for watching. Bye.